Let's talk about your special. Dean hit me up, and he goes, dude, I want to shoot a special. I'm like, that's fucking great. And he goes, there's this venue, typical Dean. He's like, dude, check it out. This guy fucking found a cave in the middle of Tennessee, and he hollowed it out, man, and he built a fucking club in there. And I'm like, what? And you were like, yeah. He said, but at that point, they'd only done like music,
bluegrass, never done comedy.
Okay, and they shine like the lights up on the rocks above you. It smells of sulfur.
Yeah.
When you're in there, it smelled like the old house I grew up in for a period of time when I was growing up that had water damage in the basement because the foundation was made.
Like
one of those.
Your buddy moves to the basement. He's like, I got my own room now. And you get in there and you're like, stinks in here, but we can, party.
Yeah. No, but and also, you're like breathing in mold. But that damp basement smell. That's what it was. So anyway, oh my God, I forgot that. We went there. We go to do the gig. First of all, how did you find out about is it because you do music and you were in a band and all of that stuff that you knew that this place existed? Because no comic I know knew that place existed.
No, I ended up, we talked about it on the last podcast before we launched it.
I'm sorry. Am I asking the same question?
No, but I'm going to tell the story.
Tell that story, Dean.
I ended up interviewing the owner, Todd Mayo, because he wrote a book called The Caveman Chronicles about starting this venue. And then mid-interview, I said, I got to do my special there. And he goes, let's do it, man. We've never done comedy. I'm looking forward to it. And then a month later, me, you, and Marcus Price and Kenny, Club Soda Kenny, were there. And nobody had done comedy. So there was nobody to call and go, hey, what's it sound like? Did the laughs suck in there? Whatever. We totally fucking rolled the dice. And I was just telling the guys outside of the studio, if I would have known where the fuck it was, I would have been really nervous because it was way out in no man's land.
Yeah, it was like flying to Nashville and then just drive an hour into the woods. I mean, it's a mountain or whatever. But like, I just kept feeling like I was in that movie, The Dirty Dozen. And you remember when the officers were in like the basement and they were pouring all the gas and dropping all the grenades down.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim Brown runs and he throws them in. Yeah, I felt like I was in there. And did they close the door or no?
They did close the door.
Yeah, that was a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, because you're in there.
Yeah, it was like, I felt like also like one of those 1950s nuclear fallout shelter. And like, this one town, everybody makes it to the cave and they close the door and the whole world ends and it's just fucking them. There was definitely those vibes, which I felt like added to the show. So I went up and I opened in front of you, and you got to see this thing. It's like, it obviously doesn't look like anybody else's special, and you killed. So that venue just being up there, like the second you got on the stage, I felt like, those times where you're doing your act, but you're also like taking in the venue. Like, this is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then when you were doing your set, you were murdering, and I was way, towards where the door was like opening and stuff. And I could just tell the way like Marcus was shooting it, that it was going to be awesome. So I think that this thing is going to go viral because it doesn't look like anybody else's special.
Well, the first thing everybody says, and I was a little naive when we shot this thing. Thank God I was like, oh yeah, we're going to shop this. And they're going to look at it for 1 minute and go, what the fuck, and buy it.
Yeah.
But, they didn't even look at it. The theys like Netflix, and we couldn't get a call back from Netflix. We sent them 5 1-minute clips because we know how ADD people are. Uh-huh. Just click on this and fucking your bosses will be happy you found this fucking $1 million special that looks like nobody's, and It's fucking funny.
Right.
And we couldn't even, so nothing, but
I think that's a blessing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that documentary where that guy was in a band? I think it was that one about Anvil.
Oh, yeah.
And how they were just right there, and all the bands coming up that made it were looking at them like those guys are the guys, and they just never broke through. And they were just talking about the music business. Excuse me. They were just talking about the music business. And the guy said, at the end of the day, he goes, you're better to own something 100% and sell 20,000 copies than to not own it at all and sell 20 million.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the fact that all of for whatever reason, I don't understand like what show business is doing right now. Like they're really not buying anything. I don't know if they got overextended, but I know like these streaming services are like these insatiable behemoths that just need content. So I don't understand why they're not necessarily buying the way that they were.
Especially when you hand them something like we made.
I think it's the fucking tariffs, man. I'm so glad I'm not watching the news.
Oh my God.
Watching that. So anyway, but I think what they're going to be ending up doing by being stingy like this now, or just whatever, punishing us because we went on strike, whatever the hell it is that they're doing, they're going to create, like they're setting people free.
Yeah.
Because people need to figure out, okay, well, how do I get my voice out there? It's just going to create all these different scenes. And like I said, dude, I think you're going to probably make more money doing it this way because I'm going to promote the hell out of it, obviously. And that's my favorite thing to do is promote comics that I believe in. You are one of those guys. And yeah, and there's also ageism.
Oh, God, big time. I was talking to somebody about it, and they go, ageism in comedy? Is that real? I go, what, are you fucking crazy?
No, you have to be past certain points.
That's what I said.
It's show business.
Yeah.
In show business, you have to be past certain points, or then the angle of attack, it just gets steeper and steeper. But the reality is, in for all you young comics and performers out there, is you never give away your power. You always know that I have this power. I'm relatable, and just because these bean counters with their algorithms have these things, like there's a million. What I did when I was coming up is whatever I was running into, once I went through that was I felt was holding me back. Whenever I would go through the depression of it, and then I would just look at somebody who was in the same boat and made it. I'm like, all right, that's my guy, right?
Yeah.
So like I always use the going bald thing. And I was just like, oh, fuck, I'm going bald. I wasn't getting worked with the full head of red hair. Everybody wants to give me a fucking Richie Cunningham role. What the fuck? And I started losing my hair, and I was like, oh, no, man, this is going to be over. And then I just went like, no, fuck that. Ed Harris, Yul Brenner. And I just started looking at all these bald guys.
New heroes.
Yeah. Fucking Telly Savalas. And I was just like, those guys made it. But it was like out of necessity.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, I was just going to be in some fucking comedy condo by myself, going bald, wanting to kill myself. So,
but my thing is, I hear your stories, so it kept me going because you weren't when I met you, you weren't. I always say you weren't the mighty Burr. You were doing, potluck down there.
I was the chugging along,
yeah,
ginger.
Yeah. So it's like I hear the stories, I listen to them, I keep going, and I go, well, fuck, I remember Burr was telling me this story. I keep going and keep going, and I've already, if it ended tomorrow, I look at this fucking run I had of 6,000 shows.
Yeah, well, I feel like everybody in this business, like if you're here, you're getting this in the business.
Yeah.
And then when you get here, you get this, and it's always that.
Yeah.
And it's just because there are, it's a hard business, but there are so many people. I mean, look at Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
Like he didn't win an Oscar until The Departed.
Unbelievable.
So that's another guy that I looked at. It's like, I'm going to sit here and whine. I didn't make, Mean Streets,
Yeah.
Taxi Driver, Raging Bull,
Yeah.
Goodfellas, all of these movies, and have to wait. And that's like 10, 20, 30, like 30-something years of making.
Imagine you're sitting there
and redefining cinema.
Yeah. And you're going, really?
Before he finally gets the thing, right? And then meanwhile, like everything's the same. And then meanwhile, there's the catchphrase sort of director that, had the movie that was about the right subject at the right, like that's like, threading a needle or whatever. So I'm just going like, all right, there's that. And that's just white guys. Forget about fucking racism, sexism, and all of that. So, like, as long as you look at it that way, the pity party ends, and you're like, all right,
yeah.
let me go.
Boo
hoo! I tell.
I never
jokes
sit
for a
around
living.
and complain, man. It's just like, let's write jokes. Let's get, Sarah Silverman once said, "Stop complaining and be undeniable." And I took that in. I was like, yeah, man.
Oh yeah. Check out 5836.
April 17th.
April 17th.
YouTube.
Yep.
Patreon right now. You can buy it on Patreon. Or
where on?
Patreon.com/Dean Delray. And once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries, dude. We're going to blow this thing up.
Fucking amazing.
Go out there, get some money.
Oh, man.
Go buy some motorcycles.